have some little roses in my garden. If I had some last year, I don't remember. And I really want to have a lot more, so I think these are probably my only roses this year, but hopefully the first of many. Hello friends, welcome to my new vlog. My goodness, it's been a wet week. I live in the UK, so I don't really know what I expect. I hope you've had a good week. This week, because it was so rainy, I decided to try and go to another museum. I know I did Clacton Museum last week, but you know, it's just so, the day that I was off, it was just torrential. So I ended up going to Chelmsford Museum, and that's what the bulk of this video will be about. I have to say, I thought Chelmsford was a really cool place. I thought there was a lot to look at. The main bit of Chelmsford appears to be a street called Molsham Street. That seems to be kind of the cool place. There were some very nice shops there, some beautiful houses, and right at the end of Molsham Street is the Chelmsford Museum. For some reason, and I don't know why this was, when I got out at Chelmsford train station, Google Directions, you know the little thing where you ask for directions, it sent me half an hour in the wrong way. I don't know why sometimes it's such a good thing, a good service, and sometimes they send you in the wrong direction. I don't know. Anyway, it was pouring with rain, as you'll see in the video, so I was really grateful to get in. And by the time I got there, I was starving, so I really went pretty quickly to the Hive Cafe, which is more or less the first thing I show you once we get past the outside of the museum. So I will put that footage in now. Chelmsford has a lot of beautiful things. I just wish it was a nicer day. I really love this old cinema. Just my style. Love the balcony and everything. What a day. Okay, onwards to the museum. Okay guys, finally we are here at the museum. I'm going to head in. The lawn in front of the museum is very pretty and very manicured looking. I wish it was a nicer day. It's a really nice cafe. Really, really elegant. And looking forward to my lunch. Here's the garlic bread. I must say I'm really hungry. The Hive looks onto a rose garden, and I think on a really sunny day it must be stunning. It's still lovely in the rain, but obviously not quite the same. Off to the museum. They advise you to start at the top of the museum on the first floor, and this is the view into the park. I think this is an exhibition to do with Marconi, but we'll see that properly when we go downstairs. But it looks incredibly retro and cool from up here. And there's a sign there saying Marconi. And again, you can see the outside over there. So, a lot to see. Here's a beautiful old doll in an antique pram. She's rather spooky looking. Beautiful little gloves on and dress. And then in this exhibition, they're looking at children's fashions in history, because apparently the museum has a large collection of costumes and clothing, and all the way up to the present day. There's another lovely case here of accessories, but it's hard to film through the glass. These are some fossils from a woolly rhino that was in Chelmsford in ancient times. So there you go. I've heard of a woolly mammoth, but not a woolly rhino. I'm sorry, the tusk is from a woolly mammoth, but the other items are from a woolly rhino. This is a Bronze Age cinerary urn, which would have had cremated remains in it. And it was found in Chelmsford, on Whittle Road, apparently. This room has a lot of ancient pieces, and there's information about the Romans. It's a hoard of 40 gold Iron Age Celtic coins from Great Lees. My goodness, the gold really does last forever. The Roman hypocaust was a form of central heating in Roman times. That's what I call an old necklace. That's amazing. This is a Roman coffin. Wow. It's interesting. They obviously just didn't want a wood coffin. They've got stone. This room has a whole lot of toys in it that were donated by an author called Kes Gray. He says he feels it's important to keep in touch with your inner child. And some of these toys he collected, but others he just had from when he was a child, and he just treasured them and now has given them to the museum. Oh, there's the magic roundabout in Dougal. That's gorgeous. And some Disney characters. These are all looking a bit more modern to me. So, yeah, I like White Frog. He's cute. Now these look like old games. Frustration, Magic Robot. Goodness, questions, answers. That does look a good game. And then there's the Beano, Dennis the Menace. Absolute classic. And another game, Mousetrap. And then here we've got the Scooby-Doo guys and some other people who I must say I don't know who they are, but I'm sure they're cool. These kinds of toys are kind of like things I had when I was little and thought they were very great. And if I just go up here, is this a Muppet? Is this Pogman? Probably not. And there's a little puppy and other things. Below football. You know, that's probably a great fun game because it's so simple. Oh, the light's gone off. And something about the World Cup. And there's a football game. So really, the toy gallery is, it's very atmospheric. Okay, time to move on. Now walking on from the toys room, there's this really beautiful stairway and it's very elegant. Lots of old paintings here. Yeah, it's very nice. I mean, it's a beautiful building. What am I saying very nice for? Here are some really amazing Roman pots and vases. Here's an enormous pot. Can that really have survived, or is it a reproduction? I don't know. They're very, very elegant. Oh, beautiful. This case is about the Anglo-Saxon things that they found in Chelmsford. And here's another necklace. And a pot. And then there are some little tiny bits of jewellery, or parts of a bit of jewellery. And then these big stone items here, or pottery items. I think they're pottery cremation urns and loom weights. Okay, well, they also have that handmade magic about them. Here are some medieval items, which are quite stunning looking. Again, can they really have survived? That looks like a little face there. Ooh, that's giving me the shivers. These are relics from the Dominican Friars Monastery, which ended when Henry VIII dissolved all the monasteries. And these items, look at this bird head, that's amazing. They were found on the site, and there's some very ancient glass there. It's called Friars in Molsham. Here's some stunning medieval pottery. That really is super. And then these are tiles. I think they're floor tiles apparently. Again, they're medieval. Goodness, you think of the skill to make these items when people didn't have the tools and stuff we have now. They actually made better things. Wow. This is a clay figurine of the goddess Venus, the goddess of love. They think it was possibly a souvenir, and it was found off Molsham Street in Chelmsford. This is part of a pottery snake bowl. The cult of the snake, apparently there was a temple. I think I'm right in saying that, and it was to do with death. Let's see. The Romano-Celtic temple, again near Chelmsford, or in Chelmsford. What we see in this case, friends, is a witch bottle and also a shoe hidden in a house in Chelmsford that were used to ward off witchcraft. It was a very, very big fear in those days. These ceiling bosses feature a blue boar and a Tudor rose, and they were from the Black Boy Inn in Chelmsford. The tea tray depicts a private of the loyal Chelmsford volunteers.
We have witnesses. They will testify and will speak before long.
They lie! Prudent lies!
It's hard to liar. Do you have no shame? A baby was lost before its time because of you.
It wasn't me!
I have had you chained and stood on your feet for a day, and I will do it for days to come if you do not confess your sins and admit what you are.
My mother and I are women. Nothing more. Why do you torture us so?
This is my baby.
Don't give me names.
It's a film about the corn exchange. Collection of items about the suffragettes here. There's a lot to take in. And then this beautiful certificate. All the purple and green colours of the suffragettes are here. And there is a lovely postcard of a suffragette. And here is a knife that was smuggled out of Holloway prison by Grace Chapelleau, and she scratched on her knife, "Be free, down with Asquith, freedom for women, November 1908, give women votes." So, an amazing display. And my goodness, that postcard is of Grace Chapelleau. Oh, wow. This case has some items about slavery and the slave trade. Goodness, let's see. This is a slave manila, which was a bracelet-shaped object, and it was used as a form of currency in West Africa to buy slaves. And then this medal commemorates the abolition of the Slave Trade Act, but it wasn't till 26 years later that slavery itself was abolished. An awful lot to see here. This is more about Chelmsford becoming more modern. There's these little adorable little satin shoes for a lady, and then a sweetie tin, and some more kind of modern items, furniture store gift bonds, and Chelmsford's becoming more modern here. These are handcuffs and birch twigs and manacles, things that were used by the police and in jails to imprison people. So, a lot quite depressing items. Here's Susie Quattro's leather jumpsuit, which is about about, this room is about the musical heritage of Chelmsford, and I think Duke's as a nightclub in Chelmsford. I remember Susie Quattro from when I was little. Here are some lovely flyers and programmes from the theatre from Chelmsford in the last century, which are right up my street. They look lovely. Also in this case there's a piece about Chelmsford Pride, and yes, something to do. Now what's this? This is the pansexual pigeon. Everyone is welcome. That's nice. It's a sort of, is that a cone head? 7. It's a cone head. Okay. This is not history, this is my story. This exhibition is about, I think, the Chelmsford Windrush generation, and I think it's about the experience of black people in Essex. I like the way that the exhibition can breathe. It's not too crowded out. It's oh, the park is beautiful. I'll try and go a bit closer. That's a super picture. It says in 1948, Empire Windrush brought Caribbean immigrants to the United Kingdom, carrying 1,027 passengers and 2 stowaways on a voyage from Jamaica to Port of Tilbury. So 802 of these passengers were from somewhere in the Caribbean. Wow. I wish they hadn't had such a rough time. Here's a painting of a doctor in the Victorian times, a lady doctor giving someone an ear examination. And now I'm going to head downstairs briefly. So apparently this museum, Oakland's house, was built in 1865, and it was supposed to be like Queen Victoria's holiday home, Osborne House on the Isle of Wight. So yeah, there's Osborne House, there's the museum we're now standing in. So it's a nice little bit of information about them. Here's a nice piece about Chelmsford wildlife. This is the museum beehive, but I don't think I can see the Queen. I really like this room. It's all done up like a Victorian kitchen. It's very, very traditional. I like this. And with that sort of moody day outside, it's lovely. This exhibition is an accurate representation of the communications room on the doomed ship the Titanic, and apparently the Marconi equipment was used to send SOS signals as the ship sank, and this saved the lives of those people who did survive, and it saved the Marconi company, which was apparently in danger of going bankrupt. So, an amazing exhibition. This is the Marconi radar, and it's very, very impressive. I mean, I obviously don't know, I'm not an expert, but it's a very amazing exhibition. I'll try and walk around a bit more. Here are some dolls. Trying to see what they're of. These are models of Marconi and George Kemp, his assistant, made for an exhibition at the post office. It's a Marconi company souvenir. All the people in the company. It's so pretty. I mean, I wish they'd do that kind of thing now.
From Chelmsford Station. Alright. first broadcast in June 1920 from this station. Worldwide interest allowed by these broadcast concerts, and good reception was reported from this.
This exhibition is about the Hoffman Bearings factory, which was in Chelmsford, I believe. And it's all about how ball bearings are used in all parts of industry. And I think very interesting. There's just so much to see. What is up here? This little dollhouse is actually a model of a steam mill. It's hard to see properly, but I love all the little tiny sacks of flour, and makes me think of Bagpuss. This room is about Edward Bingham and Castle Headington art pottery, and it does look quite serious pottery. I mean, I imagine it must have been for churches or very wealthy people. Here's an exhibition about Grayson Perry and things that Grayson Perry has created. Goodness me. Let's come round here. There's an amazing skateboard with a golden lady on it. And then an Osprey handbag and a shoebox saying "Vote Tory." And then an alien baby. My phone ran out of space as I came across this exhibition about Grayson Perry, whom I had thought was a ceramicist, but he's obviously a painter as well, and it was amazing, and I wish I could have had more space to show you it. Well, there you go. That was Chelmsford Museum, and as it was awesome. I would say regarding the cafe that it was a lot posher than I expected. I mean, I probably should have researched it more. I think I wasn't altogether expecting to go to that museum on that day. I was expecting to kind of queue up with my plastic tray and just get a sandwich or something, but it's actually a waitress service, and it's a very beautiful cafe actually. It's been very, very tastefully decorated, and the food was really nice. They have a sign up to warn you that if it's busy, there will be a pause before you get your food, and indeed that is true. I would say maybe it was like 25 minutes before I got my vegetarian lasagna. Sincerely, I think it was that long. They maybe need a bit more help in the kitchen. My vegetarian lasagna was delicious. I had freshly squeezed orange juice. It was delicious. I think I was really needing some energy. And the salad was small, but it was very nice. I was intending to get some tea and cake as well, because it was after all a day out and I wanted to try it. And the cakes looked nice, but it just took so long to get anything. I really just thought, well, no, I think I'll just leave the tea and cake for today. And I noticed also that they did afternoon tea for £18 per person, but you have to book it at least 24 hours in advance. And many people had actually booked to go to the cafe, the Hive Cafe. And I think that was probably wise, because it is very busy and it's lovely. So I see why. I think I will go back and have afternoon tea one day, even just on my own, because it was lovely. And I think the grounds of the museum must be beautiful on a summer's day. And as I say, there were lots of cool things to see in Chelmsford. It was a place with a lot of graffiti art and just interesting stuff to see. So I will go back to Chelmsford, but on a nicer occasion. As for Chelmsford Museum itself, it's £4 to get in for an adult. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is for a child. Maybe it's I'm sure it's not very much. It always surprises me in Essex when museums charge me for entry, like Colchester Museum also charges you to get in, and it's more expensive actually. And so did the Holly Trees Museum. In London and also in Scotland, where I'm from, museums are free. So it's not much, and if it helps the museum keep going, then that's great. I did think it was well worth the £4. I thought there were many lovely exhibitions. It's also a very beautiful building with a history of its own, which I think I briefly mentioned in the video. So it's a pleasure to walk around there, and they are always changing certain bits of it. And indeed, you learn more about the history of Chelmsford, which I really didn't know anything about. But two of the biggest employers in Chelmsford used to be, I think, the Marconi factory and the Hoffman Bearings Company. Now, they made ball bearings. Forgive me if I've got that name wrong, but those were two of the biggest employers, which I don't think are there anymore. And I must say the Marconi stuff was really amazing. Although obviously I didn't know what the equipment that they were showing you did or what it was about, and I think most people wouldn't. It was very, very retro and very, I mean, it was art, really. The bits of machinery and stuff, they were beautifully made, and just was very stylish. And also, I did show you the recreation of the Titanic communications room. I have not ever really seen a Titanic exhibition of artifacts, though I know they're very popular and that they do happen every now and again. I once stayed at the Jane Hotel in New York, as I've mentioned before, and it's a hotel where the Titanic survivors, many of them stayed when they got back to New York, and they had information about the Titanic. But really, that recreated communications room is the only really thoroughly Titanic thing I've ever seen, and it was well worth seeing. And everything, rather like with the Marconi stuff, which I think it's related to, it was very beautiful. Like the furniture, everything was so beautifully done, and it kind of brought to life the poignancy of all the beauty that went down with the Titanic. Of course, the beauty of the people that went down, and also the ship itself and all the fittings, and just that grandeur of another age. Obviously, I'm not saying the things were mattering more than the people. The people, of course, are what mattered, but just it was a step into the past and the kind of beauty and dignity of the past. So that was very lovely. And I also think that they had plenty for children to see. I like the display of toys. I'm kind of more keen when museums do old toys, because I feel that modern toys are just in the toy shop anyway. So, I mean, like they had a whole display of Pikachus. I don't think I showed that, but I mean, children can see Pikachus anyway. So if I was curating that museum, I think I'd have less of the modern toys and just more of the old things. But then I suppose you're showing the children the progression from the past toys to the current toys. So what do I know? I probably wrong. I also enjoyed seeing the beehive, although, I mean, I didn't see the queen bee, which I was disappointed about. I've never seen a queen bee. But it's great that they have that up to educate the children about the beauty and importance of the bees. And yeah, I totally give Chelmsford Museum a thumbs up. I thought it was just great.
Cookie? Cookie? Look at Mummy. This is my cat, Cookie. Hello, Cookie. Cookie, would you look at Mummy for just a minute? Oh, Cookie, Mummy's disappointed. There you go. Cookie with the dandelions. Oh, he's still ignoring me. Cookie, you are dreadful.
So I think, I'm not quite sure how much time I've now got left in this vlog, but one thing I do want to do today is I want to put a coat of paint onto my little mini shed. This is my big fairy shed, but I have a little shed over in the corner there that I think could do with some paint. And I've seen that I have paint left over. Last week in my last vlog, I painted my mantelpiece in my middle room, and emboldened by that success, I'm going to do the shed today. It's not going to rain today, so it's a good day.
Hi again, guys. Well, this is the little shed in question. I've meant to paint this since I got it. I think I did put a wood treatment on it, which is why it's still looking quite honey coloured after a year. The rest of my garden, I need to have new turf on the lawn. It's very, very uneven and kind of weird. There's my other shed, which I have painted extensively. And there's Cookie in the grasses. So I'm going to have the main shed green, and the little trim at the top, I'm going to probably have that pink. I'm a very pink person. I'm not going to try and paint the inside of the shed today or the back. That's just going to have to be a job for another day. The shed's crammed with stuff, as most people's shed is. So here we are. Oh, there's the orange from the mantelpiece. And yep, just have a go, and I think when I finish I'll quickly come back to you, but I'm not going to go on and on and on about my painting. Well guys, this is my little shed here with a first coat. You can see the pink bit on the top. I may just show you what the next coat looks like tomorrow, or I may wait till next vlog. But I must say, whenever you freshly paint something, other things like the the side of the house there, they look awful worse, but still, gotta just do your best. This time last year I didn't have this shed to put my little bits and pieces in, so it's actually a big improvement that it's here at all. And yeah, it's good also to use up the paint. So there you go. I will now go and get on with some other things, and yeah, it's a very nice day to do some painting. Cookie's now relaxing in this thicket of dandelions, but I'm glad he's enjoying it. Yesterday was so miserable. It's nice that he can lie in the sun for a bit. Well friends, if I don't come up with a better ending, then I'm probably going to wrap up the video here. I have a very, very heavy couple of weeks of work ahead of me, which I'm pleased about, but I'm having to do things in a slightly more advanced way. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you're still here to the end, I appreciate you so much. And I will see you on my next video, and goodbye from my fairy shed in Essex.